Rousseau, the defender of human nature, would hate the 21st century. TikTok dances during wars, selfies at Auschwitz, kindness outsourced to monthly donations. We're rich in tech, poor in soul. Meanwhile, Voltaire leans back in his grave, smirks and says, "Told you." He always claimed man was a beast in a powdered wig, and right now, it's hard to disagree. But let's not talk about man like it's someone else. Let's talk about you, not society. You. Are you kind because you are, or because someone might be watching? Would you still be generous if no one ever clapped, if no one ever knew? This isn't a theory, it's a mirror. Strip away the applause, the filters, the fear of looking bad. What's left? That's not just philosophy, that's the real you. And maybe that's where the story starts. Because if we want to understand what humans really are, we need to start at the beginning, before politics, before power, before social media. What was man in his purest form? Rousseau had an answer, and it's time we took it seriously. Before man built cities, borders, and Bluetooth headphones, he lived naked in the woods. No laws, no taxes, no Twitter. And according to Rousseau, that's when we were at our best. Man is naturally good, he wrote. It is society that corrupts him. He imagined the noble savage, a human raised by nature, unspoiled by systems, screens, or salaries. A myth? Maybe, but one worth exploring. In 1800, a real wild child was found in the forests of France, Victor of Aveyron. No language, no manners, no TikTok. Scientists expected a beast. Instead, they found someone sensitive, curious, and gentle. Victor wasn't aggressive, he just couldn't adapt to our civilized madness. Maybe Rousseau was right. It's not nature that breaks us, it's the classroom, the office, the algorithm. Modern science supports him. Babies show empathy before they speak. Monkeys share. Elephants grieve. Bonobos hug it out. Even your brain gives you a little dopamine hit when you're kind. In the wild, cruelty is a liability. But cooperation, that's survival. Helping others wasn't moral, it was smart. We're wired to care because the lone wolf dies and the tribe survives. Rousseau's dream wasn't naive. It was evolutionary. The human heart might not be pure, but it's designed for connection. So what went wrong? Let's talk about education, but not the pastel version, the real one. We teach kids to win, not to understand, to outperform, not to empathize. From age 5, it's pressure, performance, and prestige. We kill curiosity and replace it with comparison. We train humans like racehorses, then wonder why they trample each other. Rousseau would scream, "Man is born free," he said, "and everywhere he is in chains." In 2025, those chains are Wi-Fi enabled, performance reviewed, and optimized for engagement. And yet, despite everything, we still see traces of goodness. A stranger returns your wallet. A kid gives up their seat. Someone adopts a 3-legged dog named Steve. These small acts resist the system. They whisper, "You were good before you were taught to forget." Montaigne said, "The most barbarous of our afflictions is to be uncivilized among ourselves." Camus added, "A man is more a man through the things he keeps silent about." Maybe real humanity isn't measured by GDP or IQ, but by how we treat each other when no one's clapping. Still, the question lingers. If we're so naturally kind, why are we also so casually cruel? Why do kids mock weakness? Why do adults exploit it? If the child in the forest grows up gentle, why does the one on the playground turn mean? Maybe Rousseau was dreaming. Maybe the noble savage isn't noble, just unsupervised. And maybe Voltaire, the cynic Rousseau hated, had it right all along. Erich Fromm once wrote, "The tragedy of man is not that he is evil, but that he is capable of being infinitely more." Maybe we're not evil, maybe we're unfinished. But one thing is certain, if there's a monster in us, it didn't come from outside, it was always there. And now it's time to meet him. If Rousseau believed in the noble savage, Voltaire believed in the savage, full stop. No makeup, no myths, just man in his raw form, cunning, violent and hungry for power. He mocked Rousseau with surgical sarcasm. I have seen men, not angels, and history sadly seems to be on his side. From ancient empires to crypto scams, from crusades to comment sections, when given the chance, man doesn't build Eden. He builds cages, for others, and sometimes for himself. Science confirms it. In the 1960s, Stanley Milgram asked participants to electrocute strangers on command. Most did. In the Stanford prison experiment, normal students became sadistic in under a week. Why? Because cruelty isn't an exception. It's potential, dormant but ready. Give a uniform, add authority, remove accountability, and the monster doesn't just wake up, it smiles. Hannah Arendt called it the banality of evil. Not monstrous in appearance, but ordinary, polite, well-dressed, just following orders. You see it everywhere. Online anonymity turns nice people into keyboard sociopaths. TikTok trends where teens destroy classrooms for clout. Road rage, office politics. Cancel culture driven by moral purity, but executed with violence. We don't just tolerate cruelty, we've gamified it. Pain, likes, repeat. The worse it feels, the better it performs. We haven't evolved past the beast, we've optimized it. Voltaire believed that civilization didn't erase our savagery, it just gave it better vocabulary. We don't conquer lands anymore, we conquer attention. We don't burn witches, we ratio them. And all the while we pretend to be shocked by it. How could this happen, we say, scrolling past bombings with a sigh, then getting mad over a delayed Amazon delivery. The truth? We're desensitized not because we're evil, but because it's easier than caring. Carl Jung warned us the most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. To truly look inside, to see both the kindness and the rage, the compassion and the contempt. But we don't want to look, so we bury the shadow, deep. We call it just business, just politics, just a joke. But the more we deny it, the more power it gets. You don't escape the monster by ignoring it. You escape it by naming it. So maybe Voltaire was right. Maybe man isn't corrupted. Maybe he's conflicted, a walking contradiction, capable of holding a baby and launching a missile on the same day. We're not evil all the time, just when it's convenient or profitable or fun, and that's scarier than pure evil, because it means the line between good and bad isn't out there. It's in here. But what if the story doesn't end there? What if we're not doomed to swing between halos and horns? What if there's a third path, hidden between Rousseau's dream and Voltaire's nightmare? A way not to be perfect, but to grow. So here we are, between Rousseau's innocence and Voltaire's cynicism, between purity and predation. Two visions of man, neither fully wrong but both incomplete. Because what if the real truth is less flattering but more powerful? What if man is not good, not evil, but perfectible? Not an angel fallen from grace, not a beast in disguise, but a creature born half-written, desperately looking for the pen. Viktor Frankl, survivor of Auschwitz, wrote, "Everything can be taken from a man except one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. Even in hell, some chose to share food, to comfort others, to stay human, not because it was easy, but because it was right. That's not instinct, that's choice, that's the beginning of character." Sartre said it simply, "Man is nothing else but what he makes of himself." We are not born finished, we are self-portraits in progress. And progress, it doesn't come free. It demands awareness, doubt, failure. It means confronting your weakness without letting it define you. We're not angels, but we're not static beasts either. We are becoming. The human condition isn't a fixed nature. It's a battlefield, a negotiation, day after day, between desire and duty, comfort and courage. That's why therapy, journaling, meditation, self-help books, coaching, even long walks at 2 a.m. exist. Not because we're broken, but because we're unfinished and trying to finish the job. You don't become better by denying the shadow. You become better by bringing it into the light and refusing to act on it. That's the real heroism, quiet, unseen, unrewarded. Jung called it individuation, the process of integrating the shadow, not erasing it, but learning its name, owning the chaos so it doesn't own you. We pretend to be good by hiding our darkness, but the truly good ones? They've seen their own monster and taught it to kneel. Want to be kind? Start by being honest. Want to grow? Stop curating and start confronting. Real growth is messy. It's not a highlight reel. It's sweat, silence, setbacks, and a stubborn kind of hope. Dostoevsky wrote, "Every man is responsible for everyone else." That's the burden and the beauty of being human. We are not just here to consume or succeed. We are here to become, through effort, through failure, through tiny decisions no one will ever applaud. The truth? There is no final version of you, only the one you're shaping right now, in your choices, in your pauses, in your resistance to shortcuts. So maybe the question isn't, am I good or am I bad? Maybe it's, am I growing? Am I more patient than I was last year? More present, less performative? Because the goal isn't perfection. The goal is persistence, a daily inch forward, not saints, not beasts, just flawed humans with the audacity to keep showing up. And trying, really trying, is everything, because perfectibility is not a fantasy, it's a responsibility, it's a refusal to stay asleep. It's looking in the mirror and saying, not yet, but maybe tomorrow. And then doing the work, without applause, without shortcuts, without waiting for permission. We'll never be perfect, but maybe that's not the point. The point is, we try, we get up, we fall better, we choose kindness when cynicism is easier, we build when destruction would be quicker, we reach for light even when it flickers. Man isn't good, man isn't evil. He's something far more dangerous and beautiful. He's free, and he's becoming. So if this video stirred something in you, share it with someone who's also on that path. Someone who questions, who reflects, who's trying to grow. And if you want more journeys like this one, hit subscribe and tap the little bell so you don't miss the next spark. Not because you need another video, but because sometimes one sentence at the right time can change everything. Thanks for watching. Now go. Be just a little better than yesterday. That's already revolutionary. And honestly, it's enough.